Mark Daniel Nelson here with Make Mine Music. I want to talk to you today about background vocals. I want to show you one trick that saved me so much time to get the clarity I needed to get out of the background vocals to sit up front and behind the main vocal without it ever sounding brash, without the background vocals ever sounding like they were taking over the main lead vocal or causing any kind of interference between the percussion or elements like that. And a lot of it is based around a de-esser, but we're using a sidechain. This is another song by my friend Andrew Bergthold, and he has this great track called Just Kids. I'm going to play this section where there is a huge background vocal and with a main vocal going on top of it. There's a lot of S's, there's a lot of things happening, there's a lot of percussive elements, and if you have it off, you'll notice that everything just starts sounding really, I wouldn't say annoying, but hard to focus on because there's all these different S's throwing at the same time. You got 15 people saying stop. They're all starting the S's at different areas, which is causing everything to flutter up and flam. So the cool trick behind this is to sidechain the lead vocal into a multi-band compressor on the background vocal bus. So anytime you have an S that the lead vocal is doing, it triggers the entire background vocal bus. Because most likely they are singing the same S as the lead vocal, but most likely they'll be out of time in a slight variant way, which is causing harshness and annoyance when you have all these other elements going on. So I want to play the mix right now of the bridge going into the breakdown. You'll hear a ton of background vocals happening. You'll hear a lot of percussion elements happening. And this is with the actual multi-band engaged on the background track. After we listen to that, I will break it down and I'll show you the setting. Let's take a listen.
We're hearing all of the words I promise that you say, but honestly it is not all that complicated. We have our dreams and they can never be overrated. There's something that could have never been overstated. 1 plus 1 doesn't always equal what you would think. Give us a pen, we'll explain it using something called ink. Although you might not see it now, open your eyes and we'll show you how. Because we know where we're going. We run like we've stolen. We just keep on.
Okay, so first and foremost, this is a huge mix. There's a lot going on. I'm talking probably 150 plus tracks. It's so dense. The main vocal is the lead of this track, obviously. So that needs to have all of the center focus and all of the attention of the S. You start putting other S's in there, it's causing flams, it's causing weird phasing issues. It doesn't sound very pleasant. So what you saw here was the multiband on the background vocal kicking in anytime the lead vocal had an S, whatever, any kind of aggressive thing, because it's only focusing on the top band frequency of the lead vocal. If you see, I use a key point of bus 3. That bus 3 is actually coming off my main lead vocal here. The reason why I put it here instead of in the bus lead vocal is because coming from here, it's even further in front of the background, so it's even quicker. Just even with delay compensation, you want to get in front of things if you can. So what I do is I set it up in the lead vocal going out of the bus, coming into the key of the background vocals bus stereo group. And I'll key it on the actual multiband compressor, which triggers the bounce every time the top frequency of the lead vocal kicks in. You can see that it actually goes and takes care of all of the harshness. Now if I solo just the background vocal and the lead vocal, you'll be able to hear really quickly what it's really doing.
We're hearing all of the words, a promise that you say, but honestly it is not all that
So without-
complicated. We have our dreams and they can never be overrated. There's something that could have never been overstated. 1 plus
Lot of
1 doesn't
S's.
always equal what you would think.
On.
Give us a pen, we'll explain it using something called ink, although you might not see it now.
So this is just the lead vocal.
We're hearing all of the words, a promise that you say, but honestly it is not all that complicated.
And then here's the background vocal.
We're hearing all of the words, a promise that you say, but honestly it is not all that.
It's really big, it's really dense, and there are tons of S's going all over the place. Now I have a de-esser here that's going on the bus, but it's only tapping it lightly. And the reason why I'm not hitting it even harder is because I want the S's to come through when the lead vocal is not. Because you want to focus on what the lead vocalist is singing about, and then when it's not, everything else can come balloon up. So what this does is it tucks it, basically ducking it, whenever the lead vocal kicks in, on the top band only.
We're hearing all of the words, a promise that you say.
Promise that you say.
Run like we've started all of the words, a promise that we're hearing all of the words, a promise that you say.
Now let's hear it without.
We're hearing all of the words, a promise that you say. But
On the left and right, you really hear it because there's a big giant stereo group of vocals. And it's sticking out to the point where the lead vocal almost falls back. So instead of compressing the vocal even harder to get the vocal to sit up front, you can duck things that don't need to be there when the vocal is singing because your mind is listening to what it needs to be focusing on. Now, I can't stress this enough, that putting this in really does help the lead vocal sound more compressed. Before, if you listen to it, the background vocals are poking out, and instead of compressing it, you actually just want to hear the vocals duck down, but only on the top end, because the mid-range is so good on the background vocals, you really don't ever want to touch that. In a nutshell, all it's really doing is taking the lead vocal, sending it into the master channel of the background vocals, and ducking the top end of that lead vocal, causing the duck of the entire background vocal bus. And that's it. Have a great week.